Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is what we like to call the Bible Bistro. Come on in here and sit down. We're going to open our Bibles today and look at Psalm 53. Psalm 53, verse 5 today. We're making our way through Psalm 53, a maskil of David, mirror image of Psalm 14, and also a mirror image of Paul's argument in Romans chapter 3. I hope you've gone back there and looked at that. I encourage you to do that. You'll see how this is used, and of course, if we let Scripture interpret Scripture, then we understand the problem here. The problem is that we have a sin condition. We cannot do good. We cannot create righteousness. We cannot come before Him by merit. And that's one of the things that Paul argues there in Romans chapter 3, using the argument found here in Psalm 53 and in Psalm 14. Today we're going to look at Psalm 53:5. And before I read that, let me just remind you that Daily Dose Radio is on a host of social media platforms: Twitter, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Facebook. And so if you have a minute and you want to check them out, especially would appreciate it if you'd like the Facebook page. If you use Facebook, if you don't, if you have Twitter account, find me on Twitter at Reverend David B. Smith, and you'll find me there. And Daily Dose Radio is uploaded every day to Twitter. It's uploaded every day to Facebook. It's uploaded every day to SoundCloud. It's uploaded every day to Tumblr, Stitcher. So lots of these places we have a presence on the interweb. Hope you'll find them. Check them out. Also, our webpage, my-dailydose.com. Go there and check that out as well. Let me read verse 5. They were in great fear where no fear was, for God hath scattered the bones of him that encamped against thee. Thou hast put them to shame, because God hath despised them. All right, that's verse 5. Now this is different. Here's where we come to a parting of the ways between Psalm 14 and Psalm 53. The very first part of this verse is the same. They were in great fear where no fear was for God. And actually that's the same. We don't have the Lord in 14. We still have for God in 14. But then from there on it's different. In Psalm 14 we have for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. That's the remainder of that piece. Although in Psalm 14 we have 7 verses, where here we have 6. And so 5 is divided, in a sense, into 5 and 6 in Psalm 14, where it's all packaged into one verse here in Psalm 53. So they were in great fear. Who's the they? Well, that they is the folks we've been talking about. We continue, you can follow the antecedent by these pronouns. Of course, sometimes that's more difficult than at other times, but here it's kind of easy. They were in great fear. You go back up to verse 4, you say, okay, well, who's the they? In the end of 4, we have they have not called upon God. Okay, who's the they? You go to the very first phrase in verse 4, have the workers of iniquity no knowledge. Okay, that's the they. Okay, so they are eating up my people as bread. They have not called upon God. There were they in great fear. So they're fearful of what? Well, they're fearful of God's judgment. God hath scattered the bones of him that encamped against thee. And that is, the thee there goes back to the people. They're being eat up like bread. So the bones of him that encamped against thee, thou hast put them to shame. The them is the workers of iniquity, because God hath despised them. So friends, it's very important for us to understand, God despises the wicked. He despises the children of men who have walked away, and the fool that has said in his heart, there is no God. Understand that the wrath of God stands against sin and all sinners. He hates them. Now, he loves us because his love is demonstrated in the death of his Son. but he hates sin and he must judge it. So right here we have this declaration. God hath despised them. All right, tomorrow, join me. We're going to look at verse 6 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.